Saturday night, Lake County, Montana, Flathead Indian Reservation. And we're going to the races. Out of my way, dog. It's time to hitch up.
Put your spares in?
Tracy's worried about his spares. Looks like he's got the jitters. I'll bet you smell, trophy girl. Fill her up, all you can afford. Does Tracy get nervous before the race?
Butterflies. I took a crop and fly away.
Moving north on highway number 93. Here's the turn down Reservoir Road on the way to the Mission Valley Speedway. It all comes together on Saturday night. We're on our way to the pits. $20 for drivers, $16 for crew, but membership means a $4 break. The end of the millennium, Pablo, Montana, Mission Valley Speedway. Get ready for an evening of racing. At the wheel, it's a different world. If you're really racing, expect a car in front, on your side, and climbing up your tail. Whoops, watch out, it happens. Damn, it's raining. Shut it down. Been there, done that. Water building on the track. Drive to the pits for a second tune-up and for sure another chance to win the race. Our story is about to begin, so buckle up for safety.
Where's some water?
Motorheads, the story of the Mission Valley Speedway. The banquet, end of the season. It's trophy time, October 23rd. Bob Lulo, track promoter, sums up 1999.
And that's the way we got through, because we had faith, and faith worked. We had a wonderful year as far as racing. We had a real prosperous year.
Thumbs up, Keith. Thanks for the help. Yeah, but what about the trophies?
Most improved, Arnie Coleman.
And all the fun and games. Even dreams for future races. Speaking of dreams, for sure you'll find them at a speedway track. A true adrenaline rush. From the bleachers to the pits. Kick back, it's summer, and the living is easy in Pablo, Montana.
There you guys go. Thank you. Have a good night.
In the best of times, it's one big family. Even kids take hot laps. First and foremost, it's the spirit of competition bonded by sportsmanship, a funny combination of character and pride.
3/4 inch wrench. These are the same.
Eventually, all cars must take a reality check. Only one comes back with a trophy. Tough odds, but that's the way it is. Behind the scenes, round and round we go. Head judge and staff are counting laps and keeping stats.
And 1. And then 2.
Long before trophies, our story begins about 3 miles down the road.
This area right here is the first speedway on the Flathead Indian Reservation. The first one that the Mission Valley Auto Racers were ever involved with. And there's not much of it left here, as you can see, but this is the area right here. In fact, we're standing right where our first tower, per se, was built. We had a tower on the other side and a grandstand, But looking into the sun got a little bit hard for the judges and so forth, so we moved everything to this side. And this is just the area right here. Doesn't look much like a speedway today, but well, we had some many good times here. This is where it all started, right here. Back in 1969. Workers from the mill would come over and they had equipment and they'd work on this, and I'd come by and I'd just think, my word, that's not going to be a speedway. And pretty quick it started forming up. I remember using plank, big old bridge plank on the back wall to protect the crowd. And a lot of good memories here. A lot of work, a lot of water, but we'd fill the stands, and we had some great times here. And many of the old racers that raced on this track are still around. Our past president, Dwayne Olson, got his start here. We've got late model drivers still racing today that got their start here. Probably a third of the racers, some way, that are involved with Mission Valley Speedway and Mission Valley Auto Racers today, their roots are right here. It's pretty much history, and that's kind of why we're where we're at today.
Looking back at the tapes of the early 70s, it's just amazing that we raced under the conditions that we did. The track was rough, the lighting was poor, the fence wasn't very good, but we just enjoyed it so much we just kept doing it. It was unique. Nobody around here knew anything about stock car racing. I probably had my car half built before I ever saw my first stock car race. They were racing in Missoula weekly. They were racing in Kalispell weekly. I had never gone. They had a little dirt track in Missoula, asphalt track in Kalispell, and it just seemed like a fun thing to do. We raced at that track for 4 years and then moved up to our present location,
where it looks like a good night to race and the pits are filling. Cars tune up motorhead style, soon a driver's meeting. Track rules are stated after time trials for visitors and locals alike. Mission Valley Speedway racers win or lose by a clear set of guidelines found in the rule book. Rules applied as law through track officials.
You don't have point average, you'll be starting at the back of the pack. So you guys that are here for the first time, you're going to probably be at the back of the pack. That's why. Come back to the next race, you'll probably start towards the back because your point average will be up high again. Okay. What's that?
Canadian racers are in town and colors fly.
Mission Valley Auto Racers Association, depends on who you talk to. The drag racers call us circle jerks because we go in a circle all the time. But for me, it's organized group. We're a club-run organization at Mission Valley Speedway. We call it Mission Valley Speedway and Mission Valley Auto Racers. And it's people that are interested in racing, that love the sport, the competitiveness of it, to be able to do things when people say we can't do them, we find ways to get them done, to do them. I think all racers have that competitive edge that when you tell them that you can't do that, that they have a drive that they try and find ways to do it. They research the things to get to what they want and how to achieve it. And there's a lot of camaraderie, support of each racer, each Mission Valley Auto Racer, every member that we have. Everybody tries to work with them, keep them going. We have 5 different classes out there, I believe. I've helped people in all those classes. And they all start out that they go out there to have fun, and then they turn into really stiff competition.
The tribe paid $40,000 to put the asphalt down. A year later, as we were running later in the evening, running racing, we seen the need for lights. Don Adson done some inquiring and went ahead and paid $4,000 for our original lighting, and it seemed very adequate at that time. He got an electrician to help him, and various ones donated this and donated that, and that's how we got started. And that's basically been the whole story of the Mission Valley Auto Racers, is getting so much effort and so much help from throughout the community.
In 1994, I was elected as chairman of the board, and I've been there since. I've done a lot of things with the help of a lot of other board members.
Well, in 1996 was probably, it could have been one of my highest moments, and probably one of maybe my dumbest in some instances, but I think it'll prove out to be the best. I was sitting across the street at the cafe with a couple of the college instructors that were telling me about all the equipment that the college was getting, and they were starting a heavy equipment class and a truck driving class, and I says, well, boy, that sounds interesting. I says, we've got to redo the track, and I think most of the club would like to see this a little bigger. Would you be interested? And they says, well, yeah, we'll start tomorrow. And I said, well, let me call a couple of the members, and these were run by a board, and we'll see what happens. So I called the president and went through it with him, and he says, how are you going to pay for this? So I told him, well, we'd sell lifetime signs, and I had it all drew out on a piece of paper, and the same paper we drew up at the cafe, and it was on a napkin. And 1,970 feet proved out to be 3/8 mile. A tri-oval is where you don't have an even corner at the one end. It's more like a dog leg. You got a longer chute from one corner to the other, but it's a sweeping corner, and you can actually make it at high speed. But it's a driver's track. If you like to just go fast and turn left, you might be in trouble. You'll have to learn to drive the track.
Our present day track is probably one of the premier short tracks in the country. I am now involved in cross-country trucking, and every chance I get, I go to a racetrack. I've been to racetracks in Tennessee, Kentucky, Carolina, Arizona, a couple other states, and I've only found one other track that compares to ours in the facility. It was in Jennerstown, Pennsylvania. It was a very nice track, half-mile asphalt. Had a real nice one. That is going to be there 30 years from now, when I hope my grandchildren are racing. The concrete bleachers will be there, the concrete retaining walls will be there. The asphalt was put down in 2 very, very solid lifts. I would doubt that in 30 years there will be a weed grow through it. We had a single lift on the old track, and it lasted for 20 years before the weeds started coming through. And we've got 2 3-inch lifts put on there. I'm looking for that to be the premier track for the next half century.
To me, auto racing is probably one of the cleanest, best sports there is. And if it isn't clean, you got to make it clean. And that's why we have the judges and the officials we do. You know, if you look at the major sport today of motor racing, you've got the biggest crowds of any sport there is. And we're not professional. We're not going to ever be professional. But we have to look and be as close to professional as we can be. It's a cinch that none of the NASCAR boys or any of the boys in the national circuit in any kind of racing had ever just got out of school and went and got a car and hit the track. this is the place that they start. And we've got some young drivers that just would, if they just had the chance, could go clear to the top. I know they could. They're very talented. We've had some old boys in the past. People kind of laugh about Montana, but we go out of state, and it's kind of funny. 1, 2, 3, right from our area, racing against some of the bigger boys. But auto racing in our area, to me, is to watch the fans, go down and watch the drivers helping each other, pit full of cars, grandstands full of people, laughing and having a good time. That's what it's worth. It's probably one of the best adrenaline rushes there is, and it's for the whole family. We have grandparents and little kids. We have little toddlers, 2 years old, that, I mean, they just are really upset if their driver isn't number one. And to watch these little guys having fun amongst their friends and their family, it just makes it all real. I have only had one business out of 140 that I've asked that turned us down. Only one business. And we've got private people, we've got spud farmers, we've got everything from lawyers to spud people to realtors to motels, restaurant, tool salespeople. It's phenomenal what we've got for support.
It brings out personalities of people that you think you know, but you don't know until you butt heads with them, I guess, to find out what their views are and what their competitive views are. You deal with hundreds of personalities that you're trying to achieve things that help them overcome things that maybe aren't correct, to challenge each other of side-by-side equal racing. I guess in speaking of cheap shots, pushing somebody, spinning or something, to me that's I like a guy to pull right up alongside of me and race bumper to bumper, and when you take that checkered, you honestly earn that. Somebody that bumps somebody, pushes somebody to get by them, I feel that they won the race, but I feel they didn't earn it.
Every race can dictate what you can do and what you have to do, depending on where you start. You know, if like on a little trophy dash, a 4-car race, you know, if you start in the front, it's just pedal to the metal and try to beat the other car to the corner, get in the lead, and then take the short way around the track and make them pass you on the outside. If you're in the second row, if you're in the back row, then you're the opposite end of the spectrum. You're looking for some way around that guy that's in front. You have to run the corner higher, maybe go in higher on 3 and 4 maybe, and cut down low and catch him coming out. Every lap can be different, and when you're leading a race, if you run the same line time after time, then the guy behind you knows what to do. So there's 2 or 3 lines out there that you can run, and there are rules against what they call checkerboarding, which is bouncing all over the track, but there's more than one line to run, and so if you'll run a couple of lines back and forth, they don't know what, you know, the guy behind you, make it as tough for him to pass as possible. But there's probably no more exciting time for me than to be running side by side.
Yeah, well, you want to keep the guy out there and not discourage him, but you want to be the best that you can, and I always want the other guys on the track to be the best that they can too, so that when we go out there and run, that we know that we did it to the best that we could, and they did it to the best that they could. And if we see something that is that they need help with on their car, to keep them up on the lead lap or keep them close to us, we help them as much as we can and try and answer the questions that we can. But you're right. When in the pits, I've been in there a lot of times. Guys that we've bent fenders up, we've wrecked together. Made gestures to each other. Called each other's names, and those same people I pulled in the pits with my car bent up, and they're there sharing parts and jacking up and wrenching right along with me and getting me back out, and we do the same. But I guess I don't know what comes over. When you see a car coming in the pits that's having trouble, people run out of them stands to go help them.
Mason Valley Speedway is the home of friendly competition. When I'm out there on the track, I'm racing hard against several other compact drivers, and we're racing for everything we got, but we do everything we can not to bump each other. And if one of us should get bashed up or something breaks to where we can't finish that race and there's something broken, everybody in the pits comes over to help you get back out and get your car running as good as possible so we can go out and race against each other, because it's fun to race with somebody.
You'd be surprised. You think that people are where they are, and then when you get done and you count those laps, it's not always exactly what you think it was. I mean, I know that you think that you keep track of stuff when you're out there racing, but it's not always exactly the placing as you would think it is.
You have 3 out front, and whoever spins out behind you, you don't know.
Monday evening, racers and board members meet at the track to review present business. As you might understand, some board meetings are easier than others.
That was out on the track. I mean, they're not there. We're behind you.
But if there was a lap car in between you and the other ones, that lap car will go right in there because you pack everybody back up. If that car didn't spin out and he's a lap car and you were coming back,
where there was lap cars put in there,
and you were over here and he wasn't in front of you, but he's over here in the corner. Then when they bring everybody back, now he's right in front of you.
But he's a lap car. You got first, second place, then a lap car, and then third place type thing. You know what I mean? So it'll look like you're actually back in like third or fourth where you're not, if there's a lap card put in there ahead of you, because we just have to bunch them again. So we'll look at it, and maybe that'll kind of write it with your mind. Head judge position. Basically, I line up the races. I call down the lineups after everyone times in. All cars time in every night per class. I keep track of all those records. I line up the positions so I have radio contact with the pit bosses and stewards down there that let the racers know where they're going to start, what race they're going to be in. Then when the races when the green flag flies per the flagman, then I sit back and I count the cars as they go. I've got 2 other gals, one that runs a clock for the laps and for the positions, and then the gal on my left just writes what I tell her. I'm calling the laps. I'm calling the cars as they go past. I can't be biased to one person or another. I have to be trying to look my best if it's a tight spot right there between 2 cars at our finish line. Whose nose might be that inch closer, or like Dad said, just by a foot someone might win over another person. Okay, this is the winner right here, 66. You got it? Okay.
Do lady racers have an opinion at Mission Valley Speedway? You bet they do.
It's awesome. It's awesome. The track is fast. It's fun. The drivers are real competitive. They're fair. The judging's fair. The flagging's fair. They do a real good job of putting on one great show. Go for it, girls. It's fall.
If young women want to have even thought about racing, there's nothing that should stand in their way. Get out there, come down to the pits, talk to the drivers, talk to the racers.
Coordination and cooperation make the Mission Valley Speedway work. Competition aside, backstage, where engines burn, you're sure to find competitive motorheads ready to race.
This is one of those things I was born into it. My dad owned a racetrack in Lewiston and in Umatilla when Lewiston had a racetrack. But it's been gone now since about 1976. And obviously every place I go anymore I have to travel. But this is a fun class to travel with. So we're having a good time.
Just out here to have fun and hopefully work on that car, get him running. It's like a family sport. Everybody gets together. All we want to do is run, have fun, enjoy the racing and stuff. And after races, we all get together and have a good time. So it's a lot of fun.
And that's Mark over there. He hits the wall occasionally.
Yeah, that's the guy.
That's the guy that hit the wall. I mean, he's going to dust his car because he's trying to get the wall debris off his car from last time he hit the wall.
It's the car that hit the wall here last time. tore the whole front end off of it. Yeah. We put a new nose on it. The hood doesn't fit on it right now. It will, but not right now.
Warm these up, cram that other one.
I'm never going to be able to hear a darn thing.
Humor aside, this is the night Smokin' Joe set a track record for Mini Supers.
Now, we bet on the other cars to win.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
because
boy.
we knew mine.
At Mission Valley Speedway, you can say the side of a racing car reads like a local newspaper, meaning full of well-intended sponsors, shocking headlines, best wishes from a small town, each reading surface with a number, each car with a pointed editorial. Motorhead attitudes, and is read by thousands of fans every season. Motorhead is a person who can invest thousands of dollars in a very fast racer, dress it up with paint, decals, and inspirational thoughts, take it down to the racetrack on Saturday night, bang it up against a concrete wall, and still go home happy with or without a trophy. A motorhead is a person who can hear the sound of a well-tuned engine and know the make of the car long before it turns the corner. A motorhead is a person who can stick his head under the hood of a racer and stroke that thing till the engine screeches like a cat in heat. No matter how you plan your race or tune your car, every time you go out on the asphalt track, you run the risk of coming back swinging on the end of a tow truck, which sometimes means being out of the race for the evening and next week working in your backyard after a full day shift and out begging parts. So the next weekend you can gamble on your skill and luck as only a true motorhead can. Hey, enough talk! It's race time! Now, the Mini Indy is a curious thing. From the tower, you sometimes struggle to keep on top of track position. A Mini Indy starts like a lawnmower, and one might think sounds like a pack of bloodthirsty Montana mosquitoes organizing for a feast. Mini Indies might seem small to the untrained eye, but it takes courage to speed at 100 miles an hour with your butt that close to the ground. Mini Indies are temperamental and race like no other class because of lightweight and low gravity, can take a corner scooting sideways, and you need the help of a shoehorn to get into the seat.
Look right now, we've got a car coming around here that just finished the race, and you see a whole lot of short people. Kids that can just barely walk to middle school age, they love it out here. Like I say, it's just something so cool. I just bet a lot of these guys will want to be racers when they are able to, and they're able to see that. I don't know. It's just so neat to do anything with the racing. It's just for the kids is a big charge. Anytime you win a race, you go up there and pick up the trophy. There's a whole bunch of kids there waving at you and stuff. And that gives you such a good feeling right in your heart.
My daughter's a trophy girl for you. Yeah, it makes it even better, doesn't it?
Watch out though, Mama Bear's watching you.
Hey, this guy's heading down the road. I don't remember where he's going though. He's heading down the road to go to the big time. All right.
Meet Katrina, one of our 1999 trophy girls, Mission Valley. Her mother's in the announce booth, ready to trade places. Seems like everybody's in the act, especially track kids. Compacts are gutsy four-bangers with a throaty growl. If you've got the skill, you can push them around the track pedal to the metal in about 18 seconds. The 1999 track record stands at 17.82 seconds, set by Lynn Olson in number 43. Read all about it in the Mission Valley Speedway rule book. But they'll slip out from underneath you when you least expect it. But as any racer knows, you can't earn a checker flag spinning in dust. So you gut up, refocus, and head to the legal side of the white line. Because win or lose, you don't want to miss the fun of friendly competition. Like all good racetracks, and the Mission Valley Speedway is no exception, no racer's car moves without a team push. You cannot say enough about all the volunteer help that comes from the community. Local fire departments and medical services are joined by tow trucks, a host of helpful officials, and the eager hands of pit crews. Officials on both sides of the track are wired to the head judge. Tonight, longtime track enthusiast Rick Dennis officiates the order of cars for a restart. In the heat of racing competition, this guy's all business. When the finger points, get it and get going. The G-force of moving around the track approximately every third of a minute in a constant left turn earns you a neck ache on Sunday morning. No driver's race at Mission Valley Speedway starts without mandatory safety equipment. One of Bob's future drivers cutting his teeth. All good things must come to an end, but the thrill is the same. Each time a pack of cars comes round a sweeping final turn, pushing for the finish line. Arnie Coleman took this race and went on to become the top point winner for the season, achieving the honor of Most Improved Driver of the 1999 season. Tonight's trophy girl is being escorted by the Dare car.
Considering dip strokes and violence, I like that. Hey, Arnie Coleman in car number 2, driving in 1979 Ford 2300.
Hobbies run from 1960 to the current year are chosen from Canadian and American stock. This is a very competitive race where a novice and a veteran can hone their skills as a driver and as a builder. Drivers can expect minimum contact, but it's not considered a trademark of this class. Chassis and engines expected to remain stock, and bodies kept neat appearing. Dings out, paint burns covered. Hobbies are a learning experience, and some learn the hard way. Street stocks, one tough animal under the hood. Generally driven by veteran drivers, streets have taken on an edge of sophistication at the Mission Valley Speedway in both construction and driving skill. Competing models are limited to 1960 to current year American or Canadian passenger cars. Specifications for the street stock in the Mission Valley Speedway rule book run 7 pages, and any racer considering competing in this class is wise to do a thorough research job before picking up the wrench, much less entering the track. Drivers like Tracy Berlin have a huge local following built from years of racing. Any driver who wants to live on in the hearts of the fans is wise to show appreciation and a winning smile while being cheered in the winner's circle.
Well, we've raced it a lot. We've raced four-wheel drive. See, if you notice my cap, it's Old Fart Racing Team. I'm a charter member, and that's when I was racing my boys' Jeeps and stuff. See, I raced 1955 out of Missoula. I had a Ford coupe that I raced down there. But I've been in it for a long time. The Mission Valley Speedway, I like it because, like I said, I wouldn't be out here if I didn't. It's just a good place for good, clean fun.
Butch Munn raced his heart out this evening. Never without a smile, he drove home this evening feeling good about his contribution to an evening of competition at the Mission Valley Speedway, even though his daughter-in-law beat his time in the same event, on the same night, in the same car. Bombers are what they are at the Mission Valley Speedway, entry-level racers. Bomber class is represented by 1960 to 1986 American or Canadian cars. Many start a race with usually only a handful finish. The dents on a bomber and matching marks on speedway walls tell the story of a racer's experience. There's no end of competition in this class of cars, with equal support from local fans who call car numbers and drivers' names as close formations of gutsy drivers roar past the grandstands. In 1999, number 49, Chuck Margeau, set the track record with a time of 18.76 seconds around. Here's how Bob the track promoter likes to blow $1,000. Intermissions at Mission Valley Speedway are full and imaginative. Anything from car turnovers, trailer bashing, kid bike rides, whatever it takes to keep the action going.
I love it! I love it! This was a kick! That was a ball. I think everybody had a good time, didn't they? There we go. There we go. Future racer.
See this one here? No, I think I like this one the best, and so I believe I'm gonna buy it. Wait.
Oh, the Mission Valley Speedway is great. I love it. It brings in a good crowd every time. Everybody's cheerful, happy, and having a good time. That's what it's all about.
Supers and Mini Supers are personality cars. They're sleek and expensive. These cars are a good excuse for the newest innovation in suspension components. Mini Supers differ from Supers by frame and engine size. Specifications take up 5 pages in the Mission Valley Speedway rule book. Under the hood, we're looking at a cast iron engine block and cylinder heads. Handicap is determined by weights, after time in, and the competition of main events. Onboard computers, traction devices, automatic electronics, recording, or telemetry devices are a no-no. Also, use of an automatic lap scoring or timing devices or readout gauges are prohibited. All cars and drivers live with restrictions no matter where you race. But a pit full of supers on a Saturday night preparing for a race has no emotional limits. It's a thing of beauty. Each car is a maximum statement, and every driver who enters the track learns to keep one eye on the winner's circle and the other on the homestretch dogleg marked by fast driving, which means driver skill is just about everything for Superstocks, a high-speed power machine.
Okay, 1999 Pontiac Trans Am, 300 horsepower, T-top with a
Cruisers are a very special class of car. It takes one mind and two bodies to make them go. Two-person cars, cruisers require 4 good eyes and nerves of steel just to drive them around the track once. One person gripping the wheel and applying the brake, the other person operating the accelerator. It's not easy when communication breaks down. Ouch! Because Saturday evening at Mission Valley Speedway is also a social event and weekend entertainment, fans use downtime to exchange the news and views, share the common enthusiasm of speedway racing, talk about cars and racers with neighbors. Race results are usually posted by Sunday morning on pitstop.com under Mission Valley Speedway.
Stock car racing is probably the biggest sport there is in the world today. You asked me if it's glory and heartbreak. I think it's discipline. I think it's satisfaction. You know, you wouldn't see sponsors spending millions of dollars on one automobile or one team per se, of which there are probably 17,000 teams in the $1 million brackets throughout this United States. We've got them locally that are 20 to 30,000. You wouldn't see these type of sponsors if they didn't see something coming back to them. And it's up to us to make an entertainment for the crowd. It's up to the drivers to be disciplined. It's not all glory, and it is some heartbreak. There's nothing worse than being on top of the ladder and getting crashed out and having to spend countless hours and dollars to get back in to keep your status. But it's also, what a heartbreak is for one is probably a little glory for another, because they might be able to catch up.
Debbie's engine blew up on the last race before the finals. She ended the season in second place, 8 points out of first. A heartbreaker.
And I like to see everybody equal. I like to see them race equal. I like to see them race under the same rule. And that's one thing we really enforce at our Speedway, is we've probably got one of the finest communities to work with there is. We've got an understanding community. We've got a network of people that are beyond any other community that I know of, that step up and are willing to put forth their labor, their equipment, even their goods. We've never asked for anything that we haven't got. It's just been great, and working with the tribe has been just very, very enjoyable.
In the history of the Mission Valley Speedway, many names stand out. One remembered tonight is John Everts. No matter how competitive the racing, there is always a moment for sentiment, to remember community friends, those who have shared their enthusiasm for racing and their willingness to lend talent and labors to help build a premier racetrack. John Everts was such a person. His wife, 1999 track secretary and pit gate official, speaks in his memory.
He was an avid racer. He started in '71 until he passed away, so we spent a lot of years on the racetracks. 6 children, a set of twins, and they've all raced at one time or another in the past, either here at Kalispell or at Missoula and at the old Pony Palace back here. So we've been racing a long time. I enjoy it very much. You meet a lot of people and you gain a lot of friends.
Thank you for all you put into it. And thank you each and every one of the Everett family for what you do for us. At this time, we just have a moment of silence for our passing compadre, racer, arbitrator, John Everett.
We've reached the end of the 1999 season, a time of review and a chance to put on a track pageant. For sure, a time for the Mission Valley Speedway community to strut its stuff. It's the close of the millennium, noting 31 years of progress. Here's how local track supporter Lynn Olson views the experience.
It's the biggest rush I've ever had in my life is out there racing. You know, on adrenaline rush. You know, I've done the whole hit the bar, seeing this, that, the other thing, always having a good time and everything. And you know, my life is absolutely great. I got beautiful wife, lovely kids, grandkids, and everything. But you get out here, and I swear to God, I'm 16 years old again.
Lindsay Tyler, last year's trophy queen, and we're happy to announce this year's trophy queen is Chanel Broom. Car number 4. 3, oh my God, I'm in trouble. Car number 3, Hobby. Yeah, most of the time she's dressed up like this. Most of the time she's over there changing tires. All right, and the trophy truck is the winner of the 1999 trophy truck is a 1929 Chevy pickup truck owned by Steve Altman. All right, Steve.
That's a beauty.
How about a big round of applause for all of our trophy girls, all the trophy trucks, lots of cars. I especially want to appreciate these girls that take the time to come on out and show their appreciation to Mission Valley Speedway. I like it when these kids are involved in positive things. How about you?
First place, Howard and Janaea Lilly. Number 49, Chuck Morjo.
He's the champ.
Make sure to put your thumbprint on there.
Yeah, put your champ.
These guys were actually only 60-some points, about 60 points away, so. The 43 car, Jared Berlin. Tracy Berlin earned $600 this year, and he earned it. Raymond Matt.
Well, that feels good, just to be done and have it over with and have a good year. God, it's great. Just great. It's just great.
And drive careful, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Time to throttle down. The season's over. Racing's been tough, but good. Thumbs up. Thank you for sharing the Mission Valley Speedway experience.
Okay, green flag, here we go. Okay, he's behind the slowest car. That's a bad spot. Okay, stay behind, stay down. Get on it. There you go, stay down, Brad. There you go, stay in it. He'll back off. He'll go up, stay down. Okay, get in it. Oh, man, Dre's car hit. Oh, you too high, wait, Brad. Ah. Okay, cut in. Stay in there. Oh, man, this is going to be good at the last lap. Shepard's got to stay down low. Okay, here comes Foreman. Go, Brad. Come on, guys, 1 and 2. Keep him on the outside. Get out there. Stay in it. Use the line. Okay, second in there. Let's go. Come on. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Drake did it. That was great. Man, oh man. That was the best race we had all. That's the best race I've seen in a long time.